so I've been seeing that a lot of people are having problems with figuring out how to deliver an online course. So maybe you've got a whole bunch of content ready, or maybe you're planning, you've got a lot of content in your head, and you know you want to deliver it as an online course. And a lot of you probably, if you're not, if tech stuff isn't your strength, then all these tools is pretty confusing, right? You've got WordPress, PHP, all these sort of terms that you may not understand. So what I'm going to talk about today is just a rough blueprint of the tools that you need to deliver an online course. Okay, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so the first thing I'll talk about are third-party platforms. So what is this? These are basically services that provide all the hosting for you. So you don't even need your own website. You don't need your own web hosting. They will provide a platform for you where you will upload your content. It'll organize your course content into something that makes sense in terms of like a course structure. Okay. And a lot of these times, the only thing I don't like about these third-party platforms is that there's less personalization. So probably the URL for your course is probably going to be something like your company name or your website dot and then platformname.com. Okay, so people are going to see that, hey, this isn't your website, this is somebody else's website. Okay, so it depends on really kind of what you want. Okay, for me personally, I don't prefer that, so that's why I like to do host my own course website. Okay, so the other thing is with these third-party platforms is you probably have less control. So say something like Udemy. Okay, there's I haven't really used it in the last little while, but I find that there's not as much control. They take transaction costs obviously from the sales, and a lot of times you'll see that they're running promotions almost every week, selling courses for $10 a pop. That's not really something that pretty much commoditizes a course and a course topic. So that's not something that I like to promote. And the other problem with building on third-party online course platforms is it's similar to building on rented land. Okay, so basically, if that platform goes away, if that company, for whatever reason, gets bought out, or maybe they don't have enough money to keep running and then they go out of business, then your content is stuck there. Unless if you get a chance to export it all out, you still have to find a home for your course content. And that's why I like to start from the very beginning, just using my own hosted solution. Okay. So what's the next thing? So really the next for the whole tutorial here I'm going to talk about is doing your own hosted solution. Okay, so I won't be really talking about third-party platforms anymore. Okay, so the first thing you need to deliver an online course is you need to have your own web hosting. Okay, so if you already have a website, you already have web hosting. Okay, what I don't recommend are sites like Wix or Weebly, those free type of website hosting. They're very restrictive, so you want to get actual web hosting. And in most cases, most of you are probably building a website or your online course website using WordPress. Okay, so the typical web hosting that I usually recommend is WP Engine. Okay, I'll have a link below to WP Engine, and you can actually get 20% off your first month's web hosting. But even if you've already got an existing host, hey, that's no problem. Just stay with that if you're happy with them. I won't get into how to choose a web host, but I'm just talking about what tools you need right now. Okay, I go into a lot more comprehensive detail about web hosting and choosing one in one of my comprehensive courses, but I won't get into that today. So the next thing you need is a website content management system. Okay, so this just makes it easy for non-techie people to, upload content. So the most common platform or CMS out there right now is obviously WordPress because it's free, it's open source. There's tons of plugins, tons of themes made for it. So really there's no need to deviate from that. I enjoy using WordPress and building sites using WordPress. Very quick and easy to set up. And the next thing you need for your WordPress site is a design or theme. Okay. Now, this is a designer theme is basically the skin or what your website, the clothes your website wears. Okay, you can change it all the time, so it changes the look of your website. So it shouldn't affect what you have for content. Okay, it just manipulates how your content is displayed. So that's kept separately. Okay, the content itself is kept separately, but how it looks and how it is displayed and presented is what your design or theme controls. Okay, so and most themes shouldn't be controlling anything to do with your content or like membership type stuff. Okay, you will find some themes that also offer those sort of functionality, but that's actually more like a plugin. Okay, so in terms of design and theme that we're talking about here is purely on the aesthetic side. Okay, and the most common ones that I like to use as well are Thrive themes. You probably hear about Divi theme or the Divi content page builder by Elegant Themes. Another one I haven't listed here, I should add, is the Beaver Builder Page Builder. That's a really good one that a lot of developers like to use. I really like this one too. Okay, so those are just a few themes or page builders for you to consider. So the next thing you need to do is you need an e-commerce or shopping cart functionality. Okay, so that's not built into WordPress natively. Okay, so the most popular one you probably hear about is probably WooCommerce. Okay, so that's something that will help you get up and running very quickly. It integrates with a lot of other platforms and plugins. That's something you can probably start off with from the very beginning without incurring extra costs. The only thing with WooCommerce that I don't like is that really any sort of integration that you need with other platforms and third-party services is it's gonna start to cost you quite a lot of money. Okay, but at this point, I won't go into too much details at the moment. So this part handles the payment side. Okay, so this handles either whether you're using PayPal or Stripe or your own merchant account. This handles the purchasing action and then communicating with your either PayPal or Stripe or your merchant account to process the payment and then bringing your customer back to your website. Okay, so the next tool that you need for your course is a membership access control function. And this is usually a separate function or what we call a plugin for WordPress. Okay, now if you're using WooCommerce, they do have a membership plugin, but then a lot of times you may need to integrate it with other plugins, like say with subscriptions plugin, and then it starts adding up. Okay, so you need something that manages the access. So you don't, once you have your WordPress site up, you want to have your course hidden behind a paywall, right? You only want to let people that are paying you or have paid you money to have access to your course or whatever content you have. So what you need is something that controls that access management. Okay, so that will mean managing like your customer's username and login details and password, giving them access to the appropriate content. A lot of people mention Optimize Press, and Optimize Press is not a bad sort of theme builder, but I know it comes with a membership plugin. And a lot of people like to ask about that, and my recommendation is I don't like to use their membership functionality. It's not that it doesn't work. The only thing is it's very restrictive. And the reason why is that with Optimize Press, at least at its current form, if you want to sell your existing customers an additional course or maybe additional membership access, what happens with Optimized Press is that it has to create a new account for a customer. So what happens is if they buy multiple products from you, if you're using Optimized Press to manage your membership control, they end up with all these multiple login accounts for the different products, and that's not something ideal. You want to have a single login account so that they can access all the products or courses that you're selling to them. Okay, that's really the best way to do it. One tool I like is Memberium, which only works with Infusion if you have Infusionsoft and WordPress. Okay, other plugins, something like MemberPress is a really good one if you're not tied to Infusionsoft. Okay, so the next thing you need to consider is a learning management system, and this is often an additional plugin as well. Okay, so what is this? Or what is called an LMS. What this does is it organizes your course content into an organized structure. Okay, right? So you have the higher level course, and then within your course you might have modules, and within your modules you might have different lessons. Okay, and then maybe you want to have quizzes and tests within your course to test customers and students understanding. Okay, and what a learning management system does is it offers these sort of functionality. Okay, so a lot of times uh, if you don't need the quizzes, or you're okay, and you don't have a very structured course, it's very just higher level broad themes, then you don't necessarily need this. But if you are selling courses, I do recommend having a learning management system. The two WordPress LMSs that I like to use, and the ones I recommend, are either LearnDash or WP-Courseware. Those are the two most popular ones. They're very easy to use. It doesn't break the bank either. Very affordable as well. I have links to them as well in the description. And the next thing you need is a file hosting or content delivery network for your content. Okay, whether it's your online course content like videos or downloads, or membership content, you'll want to be putting this on a separate host. Now you're probably wondering, well, hey, I have a web hosting, can't I just upload files there? And yes, you can. Technically you can, but why most people, and why I usually recommend you host, like especially video files and download files on a separate file hosting or content delivery network, is that it will, one, I don't want to get into too technical details here, but the main thing is, when you have a lot of people accessing your content, especially videos, which are very large files, each time they're viewing your video, it's a request to your web host, okay, or to the file host. And when visitors experience a very slow website, it's probably because there's a very heavy usage or heavy bandwidth. Okay, so that's when there's like heavy traffic and heavy data usage. So you don't want to affect your website in that way. You don't want to slow down your website. You don't want to have your customers or students have a very poor experience with your online course or your website by having a slow website. So that's why I always recommend people to host your content, especially videos and files and PDFs and ebooks and stuff like that, on a content delivery network. Okay, so those are so cloud hosting. That's what you probably have heard of that, or something like Amazon S3. You could have Rackspace Cloud Files. Nowadays, there's also the Google Cloud Files. So those are really the top three sort of content delivery networks or file hosting providers. And then the last thing you need is an email service provider, or ESP, or something that provides marketing automation. Okay, an ESP is something like, probably you've heard of MailChimp or Aweber. I don't consider those necessarily marketing automation providers. The reason why is they do provide automation like autoresponders, but that's kind of pretty much it. What I like is I like using Infusionsoft or ActiveCampaign. Okay, those are two that offer marketing automation. Okay, and they also offer obviously autoresponders, so drip email campaigns. maybe a drip email campaign or lessons of your course, so you don't need to do that manually, send out emails manually to your students. The other thing that these two vendors provide are a lot of integration with third-party apps, so you can automate a lot of your processes. Okay, in business you want to automate as much as possible, and Infusionsoft and ActiveCampaign can help you do that a lot better than, say, something like MailChimp or Aweber. Okay, not that I have anything against MailChimp or Aweber. Those are two very popular email platforms. However, for me and the businesses I usually create and the courses I deliver, I like to use either one of these two suppliers or vendors. Okay, and so that's really all you need in terms of tools to deliver an online course. Okay, I hope that's been helpful. If you have any questions or you want to know more details, please comment below. If you found this useful, please like this video and share it with people, and also subscribe to our channel for more tutorials. Thanks for watching.